You're listening to IWW Radio coming to you from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. In the house today, we have TINA GUO. Tina,
Hello.
how are you today?
I am excellent. How are you?
Not bad. Welcome back to Canada.
Thank you. We just left yesterday, but I'm excited to be back via phone.
All right. We're going to hear a little soundtrack that Tina had done, and this is Wonder Woman. You're listening to IWW Radio coming to you from Niagara Falls, Ontario, and we have TINA GUO in the house today. Tina, how did you get involved on your journey in regards to, where you started and progress from there?
Well, we don't have that much
No.
time because I feel like I talk about that for 3 hours. But I'm trying to think. Extremely short version is I started the cello when I was 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Both my parents are classical musicians. My
Yes.
father was my first cello teacher. And then I went to USC for classical cello performance in 2004 when I was 18. And then it took me about 6 to 7 years before I felt like I finally was able to make some leeway in Los Angeles. And then I first started working with Hans Zimmer after he saw my music video. My very first music video is called Queen Bee, up on YouTube, and I released that in 2009. And then he saw that music video, so we started working together. And the first film soundtracks that I did were Sherlock Holmes and Inception with Hans.
Hmm.
And so the Wonder Woman, that was the main theme from the previous Wonder Woman movie, which first you might have heard in Batman vs. Superman.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I did that together with Hans, and I'm very excited to be soon to start working on the new Wonder Woman movie.
Wow. You know, what I've noticed with the Hans Zimmer thing is that I feel it's like a family.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. He definitely loves to continue working with the same people and building a musical and personal rapport with people. So I'm just definitely very lucky to be a part of it.
Perfect. Okay, let's move on to the next tune. Agwe Ascends. You're listening to IWW Radio and that Agwe Ascends by Tina. Tina, tell our listeners a little bit how you got involved in this one.
Oh, actually, so this is from Uguay in Chinese means turtle.
Hmm.
And so this is the main theme of Kung Fu Panda. And this is actually from my Hollywood's Greatest Themes album, which is an album of covers. I did play on Kung Fu Panda 3, but this was from, I guess they're all the same main theme, but this is a main theme from, the original movie,
Yes.
which I did not work on, but this is my own cover on cello, and then also the Chinese instrument erhu that you might have heard.
Yes, beautiful. Well done, and again, well produced and well engineered. And I want to stress that to our listeners and our new artists that are coming into the world is that it's just, you have to have what I call radio-ready songs. For the simple reason is it's the way I feel, I don't know how you feel, and maybe you could comment on this, is that the days of the demos are gone.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, nowadays it's honestly so easy to make something sound good that, where I really do feel like new musicians and artists, or even if you do something else, it's like with technology, computers, and all these programs, it is very easy to make high quality content without having to spend a lot. And so that the Kung Fu Panda piece, I recorded, from my home studio on the same $350 microphone that I've used for the last 11 years. So I'm a big believer in, there's some, if you find something that's good, it doesn't matter what the cost is. And in the end, it's about the person playing or singing or whatever, more so than the actual equipment. But of course, if it's ideal if you can have the best of everything. But in reality, it's not financially feasible for most people. And so I think when I started, I just learned to do everything very, very simplistically, to do everything myself, simply because I couldn't afford to hire anyone to help me. And I found that it's actually worked out really well, because it's good to fully understand every aspect of your music. Like you said, the production, the engineering, and it's very easy to learn. You just kind of learn by practicing. Yeah.
And I guess I wanted to reiterate on in regards to when you said about structure. When we talk about structure, we were talking there that it's vitally important that I feel that the young artists have to have some kind of structure on in order to achieve what they want to achieve. Because let's face it, if you don't, you're not going to fool the industry.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it depends on what genre of music. I really think that there are no rules at all. And it really depends, because I'm not in the pop music industry. I'm not a songwriter, so I really don't know anything about. I mean, I know what the general rules are, but because I'm not in that industry, which yes, you're right, absolutely. Obviously, there has to be some kind of structure. Hopefully, it's catchy. A lot of it is just pure luck and timing and meeting the right people, or or writing the kind of music that currently happens to be trending. It's so many different factors. But I really believe that it's important to be aware of what is currently popular, because you can't force people to like what you like.
That's right.
But at the same time, it's also good to, of course, explore your own musical sensibilities, because you never know. I mean, there is always that chance of being that one particular band or artist that really changes how things are currently. So I think it's, as long as you're really doing everything that you do in life and music genuinely, and coming from that place of like genuine passion, hopefully the results will be positive. I don't want to make general sweeping statements, but I'm hopefully, if you act out of a good place of integrity, I think it always leads to a positive outcome.
I always say to some of the young artists also, just be yourself.
Yes, definitely.
It's nice to, we all have a dream of who we'd like to be, but I think it boils down to actually being yourself, getting your sound together, getting what you have to get together in order to facilitate a good record.
Yes.
And not to, try to be somebody else. We all, as a drummer, we all like to think we're Neil Peart, but there's a time and a place for that. And not to be putting that through everything that you're playing, and I've seen it a lot, and it's just they're on a dream, and I wish them the best, but you've got to settle down and really think about what you're doing. And like with the stuff that I did was, people say, well, how do you play cello? Well, everything I do is on keyboards through virtual. And you've got to learn the virtuals and what they do, and the vibrato and everything, and you've got to know where to bend and where not to bend, and that took a lot of time for me. With the 2 albums that I did, it took 8 years. But at the final result, it was not heard by anybody. It's not like I get a tune and say, hey, buddy, come on over and hear this, No, it was in silence until I was ready to go with it, and that was it. So, all right. Well, Tina, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. It was a pleasure, and I wish you all the best. I would like to come up with a part 2 down the road, if that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And you're listening to IWW Radio, coming to you from Niagara Falls, Ontario. Have a great day.